how to manifest like a monk. How you guys doing today? Good. Hopefully everybody's doing great. Remember, mind your mind is going to be the source of your success in life. All right. So a monk, right? So we all have learned about manifesting spiritual stuff, right? We see the art of deliberately creating our reality. You know, we see these monks and they have so much composure, they're so connected, and they have so much in touch with nature, right? So you think of monks, you think of like wisdom, these special powers they have, the ability to meditate, the ability to be, you know, their body, control their body in like in inclement weather, right? You see these monks, they're in the cold, but they're the cold, and yet their body's warm. They can heal their body, they can create and manifest so easily and effortlessly. Guess what? You can do the same thing. You have all the abilities like they do. You're human. So what I'm going to teach you today, I'm going to teach you actually how to manifest like a monk. Basically, the powers they have, you can use it to help your world, to create whatever you want in your life. So in order to do this, okay, let me tell you what's happening with these monks or anybody who's highly spiritual. So here's what happens. They're able to tap into the superconscious mind. So if you want to be able to manifest like a monk, we have to go super conscious. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to go super conscious. Now look, you're going to have to change your habits and the way you live your life and the things you do, because to get to that level of the super conscious, we have to leave the 3D-dimensional world, an aspect. So let's talk about that. So let's show you and give you a map of how all this stuff works, right? So let's go from our conscious and our subconscious, and then we'll go to the super conscious, and then there's another being behind it all, higher self. So I'm going to bring all of those together, and by the time this video is over, you're going to have a roadmap on how to change your life right now to manifest like a monk, or manifest like magic, or whatever you want to call it. But we all know these people. They have all these abilities. They say something, it happens. They think something, it happens. They're always positive. They just create. They're always looking good, and everything just comes to them. So the secret is they're tapping into the super conscious mind. All right. So let's begin it, okay? All right. So first of all, your conscious mind is called reptilian mind, reptilian brain, okay? It's an evolutionary part of the mind. It likes to hold on to the external world, the environment, and it judges, prejudges. It's really the part of the mind that grounds us and protects us, right? But the primary purpose of the conscious or the ego mind is basically for protection, for survival, to interact with the environment and our society. But it also holds us back because it's so limited. So that's a conscious mind. You can think and reason with that mind, but keep in mind, the thing about the conscious mind is it's very limited. Means that limited means that it can only go so far. So let me put in context. Your conscious mind can only go as far as your past, the things you've experienced. Can't go beyond that. So that's a limitation. Now let's move to the subconscious. Gate to the superconscious. Subconscious is more highly adaptive, more highly intelligent. It's a mind that's connected with infinity. It's infinite, just like the superconscious. Everything comes from the superconscious, filters to the subconscious. Subconscious primarily is a habit mind. It watches what you do, and then if it sees you do something over and over, it says, okay, that's what a habit, that's what we want. And it's going to hold you to that, and it'll control you. The thing about the subconscious, it has control over your conscious. It can override the conscious mind and actually make you do something you don't want to do unconsciously. We've all been there. We self-sabotage ourselves. That's a subconscious. The thing about the subconscious can't think like your conscious mind. And that leads to another part of the mind between the conscious and the subconscious, which is the gatekeeper critical divide. I'm not going to get too much into that mind, but basically what it does, it's the interpreter or the thinker for the subconscious. Because the subconscious is illogical, the gatekeeper gets information passed from the conscious, and then the gatekeeper makes a decision to make the subconscious receive it or not. Got that? Good. Now we move to superconscious. This is where you have the ability, these crazy abilities to manifest, where you can win the lottery, where you can manifest the house, that car, where you can change your body, where you can slow your aging down, where you can cure yourself, where you can affect the field. The field is what I'm going to get into, the field in a minute. Where you can affect people, have people come and help you, have people think about you, do all type of stuff. That is super conscious mind state. Okay, so hopefully we got all that going. All right, so to get to the super conscious mind, we have to leave conscious mind, and we have to travel through subconscious mind, and then we have to talk and connect to higher self. Higher self now connects us to super conscious mind. So first of all, what is the super conscious mind? The super conscious mind is a mind that doesn't exist in reality. So what do I mean by reality? We have objective reality and subjective reality in physical stuff. So to go to super conscious, we're going to have to go quantum. So quantum physics tells us that everything in matter or life is not solid. So super conscious is an immaterial mind. It's an invisible mind. It is a quantum. It's a mind of energy and vibration and frequency. Super conscious holds all the information, the key to any part of the human soul, body, mind, knowledge, understanding, anything that you can think of, anything that you can dream of, even the unimaginable, which you can't even imagine right now. It's all in the super conscious mind, because the super conscious mind is not confined to objective reality. Objective reality is what we see, physical stuff, mind, mental stuff. Super conscious is ahead. That's super conscious. So now you see, if you can get to that, right, it's like manifesting like a monk. So to go to the super conscious, we have to do a couple things. Number one, you have to change your diet, the way you eat. It's gonna be a lot of people. That's why I say you got to change a lot of stuff. See, food affects the vibration and the connection. You're going to have to start to put food in your body that resonates with making you feel good. For some people, whatever it means to you. I'll give you my example. I only eat twice a day. People don't understand this. Do you know the more time, they say, oh, you got to eat every 2-3 hours. If you have a medical condition and you have to do that's different. But let me show you something. The more you eat, you actually age more. Did you know that? Because your body spikes proteins of sugar and these chemicals, and they create inflammation. So I only eat twice a day. And the value to eating twice a day is I have the ability to create more DMT through my gut, because your gut is the seat of all this stuff. And a DMT is that chemical that helps you and to create more. So that's something you have to do. I mean, you don't have to do what I do, but I'm just showing you that's how you're going to connect. You got to change your diet. You got to watch what you eat, and you have to be balanced, whatever that means for you. Because now your body is clean. It's more what we call alkaline, right? So be able to connect to the electromagnetic field. So the field, what is the field? The field is, in quantum physics, an immaterial world where we connect physically to get information to our bodies. That's the best way I can put it to you, without getting complicated about quantum loop theory and all this other stuff. It's just a field of energy, and it's consciousness, and it's intelligent, and that's where everything is. A super conscious mind is there. So that's number one. Got to change how you eat, and if you can't do that right now, then you have to, before you go to bed, don't eat anything for 5 hours before you go to bed. If you can do that, because now you're more open. You see, the thing about food, when we eat, is our brain, it takes more power for our brain to digest. It's not just your body, it's your brain power. So imagine if you can eat 5 hours before, right? And then you go to bed, your brain don't have to work that hard now. You have more energy to connect to the superconscious. If you eat prior to that, your body drains all this energy for your stomach to digest, and you just don't have the ample energy. So monks, that's what they usually do. Monks don't eat a lot. mean, that's point blank. I'm not saying for you to do that. But I'm just showing you the picture for what's best for you, how you can change. You don't have to go out and just, oh, I'm gonna stop eating. No, you have to gradually do this. I'm giving you roadmaps to connect to superconscious mind. So, all right, number one. So, watch what you eat, okay? Because now you have a higher energy. Number two, spend time meditating a lot. Now, listen, meditation doesn't just mean, meditation means just sitting like this. Look, in silence for an hour, watching, observing, listening, hearing, asking questions. That's what meditation is. That's what I'm talking about. Because doing that, you're sending a signal to the superconscious mind. Now, higher self comes in this way. Here's how your higher self comes in to help you in this direction. All right? Once you can connect and you have these two things, watch what you eat, right? And the meditation, now you're more able to tune into your higher self. That was maybe to the third step, because you got to get to the higher self to get to the superconscious. Open a line to your higher self. Connect with your higher self. I make plenty of videos on connecting to your higher self. So let me remind you of one simple phrase that you can do to connect to your higher self. Relax. Take a nice deep breath. Breathe out. When you breathe out, just say out loud, I am now ready to instruct my higher self, the creative part of me. Open your eyes. You're connected. Now you give some commands. Hey, connect me to the superconscious. Hey, give me more knowledge and understanding. Now, higher self works this way. Human beings, three-dimensional world. We in a dimension, higher self, it's another dimension. Your higher self sees time as one moment. You and I see time as changes in linear format. Think about that. Your higher self can see your entire timeline. We can't. Superconscious is part of that timeline. Everything is one moment to it. That's why all the knowledge is there that you can ever imagine or unimagine, because it's all there in one moment. Don't worry about it. Don't bust your brain. You can't concept that. We won't grasp that. But just understand that that's how it sees things. All right. So now, watch what you eat. Meditate. You command with your higher self. Now, you can get into the superconscious mind now. So one thing you can do every night to connect to the superconscious mind is ask your higher self. Anything you want to know, anything you want to create, you can do it two aspects. You can command it with an ask question format, or you can do it with a visual exercise. So let me give an example how I get into the superconscious in my daily life when I am connected to this. So let me show you what I do. So, and this is a great way to get to the superconscious. Let's say you have an issue or something you want to solve. Normally, your ego would tell you to try to fix it, hunt it down, or search it down. You're not superconscious. Superconscious is, okay, that's that issue. Hey, find a solution for such and such and let me know. And you let it go. And I go on with my day. 2-3 days later, it pops up. Next sign for connecting to the superconscious, here's it. Don't miss this one now. Be very open and aware. You have to be aware of everything around you. Next sign to connect to the superconscious, you have to be open-minded. If you aren't open-minded, you're not going to connect to the superconscious. So that means if you're tied into your ego and you're tied into logic and analytical mind, you got to work on that, because you're not going to get to the superconscious. You're going to be cut off by your limited mind. So I'm just giving you a brief overview. I mean, this video could go longer. I don't want to go too much longer, but I want you to get it. So manifesting like a monk involves what? Watching what you eat. Your body has to be primed, ready, a vessel to connect. What else? Meditate, create that space, open up. What else? Connect to the higher self. It's the source of the superconscious mind, right? What else? Develop highly awareness. What else? Ask the question, command it without attachment to the ego. You got to let go of the ego to connect to the superconscious. What else? You got to use a lot of visual images. Think about what you want. Visualize it. Talk out aloud. Now you are connected to the superconscious. Now you can start to manifest like a monk. Why? Because when you're in the superconscious, you're going to get information that you won't get anywhere else, and you'll be ahead of the pack. So that means a lot of things will come faster to you because your body is now energetically tuned in. Your body's more healthy. It's ready to get this stuff now, dude. It's not clogged up. It's not slowed down. It's a prime running machine. Prime running machine, prime fasting fastest manifestations. One other thing I want to put in your bonus point, get to the super conscious, you can do this, is intermittent fasting. Or if you can fast twice a week, it's going to help you tremendously. Look up the benefits of fasting, intermittent fasting. But that's basically it, guys. Those are the keys for you to manifest like a monk, so you can manifest more in your life. Practice those habits, change your life to those routines. You're going to see a whole lot of great improvements.